How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Before we get started officially, let's just do a quick test of this setup that I've got here for my stuff. GoPro camera seems to be working. I got a whole $100 adapter thing to give it HDMI out. And I think this camera angle kind of sucks, but this camera looks great. But GoPro's pretty poopy. So I've got this synced up with the drum machine and the other drum machine. Something like that. Yeah, so it's just a thing that works now. I need more cables, I think. I need a lot more space to work with this stuff. I don't know. It's not optimized, but it's pretty fun to do something like that. Side camera seems a little out of focus. Yeah, manual focus. Add it on me. I could put it on auto, but then it'll just shift around a lot. This camera angle is like, what do I even use this for? This was the overhead camera before, but I realized I was like 6 or 10 weeks where I hadn't used the overhead camera at all. That's what I've been working on the past couple days. I got that all synced up. I did have the Moog set up as well. But then you got to trigger the notes manually, and that's just too much work. All my setup is new again. I've got the GoPro housing with the powered over here. I've got it HDMI out to an extension to another capture card. So, I mean, this is the first time the 3 cameras have worked successfully, I think. Oh, the caster software that I use, that's been updated like 3 times since the last stream. So, hopefully things will stabilize. Hopefully the audio won't just cut out on me for no reason. Hopefully we won't get copyright claims in the middle of the stream for no reason. Is there any major differences between JSFX, ReaSurround, and ReaSurroundPan? ReaSurround is the old version. It's sort of the like 2-dimensional panning system, and ReaSurroundPan can also do height. So that's the main thing. The interface is different, obviously, and you can move the source height to send it to different ceiling and floor speakers. You want to just jump right into it if we don't have any questions or anything? I'd really like to actually bake today. That's what I want to do, but we're not going to do that on stream. A week or 2 ago, I made these pecan squares. It's got to be one of my favorite things I've ever made. It's like a pecan pie, and it's like a brownie, and it's like a cinnamon bun with pecans, and it's so good. And it's such an easy recipe. That's what I want to do. You can get the recipe from the YouTube channel Chain Baker. It's from a couple weeks ago. It's just incredible. Oh yeah, last week I said I don't think there's going to be another Reaper update, and then it happened like 2 days later. Like the Reaper 7.04 and 7.05 came out like 10 minutes later or something like that. It's mostly bug fixes. I'm not going to make a video about that. I think it's funny that I said it's not going to happen, and then it did like the next day. So what are you going to do? It's good that bug fixes come out quickly, but it could have waited another week. It just seemed like week after week I was doing update videos, rushing to get update videos out promptly. Okay, let's talk about the main topic, which is Free Suite from Venn Audio. I don't know this company. They haven't sponsored or anything, but I did see this video. It caught my attention a little bit. I think there's one plugin in here that is quite unique and useful. The others are quite basic. There's overlap with a lot of the Reaper plugins. But the one that I'm most interested in is the Convolve plugin, where you can actually make a time selection and normalize that section and turn like room tone into a reverb kind of. And that function seemed interesting and unique. Didn't see that anywhere else. I mean, you could probably do it with reverb, but like this can be your new stock plugins essentially. It's very basic, easy to use stuff. And it's free, absolutely free. You don't even have to put in an email address or anything. Just download links are here. So links are in the description. So we're going to go through the install process as well and just make sure that that's all good as well. Simply run the installer. Cool. It's pretty simple. Oh, it's even on Linux. So that's cool. All right, so we'll just uncheck AAX and AU. Run. And don't have to like restart anything. I've got Reaper running, but just need to go to the effects window, right click here, scan for new plugins. And it's scanning, and in the new category, I've got all these plugins. So let's just go ahead and drop them all in this track. Oh, one of them's a tone generator. So, free clip 2, so this is a soft clipper or hard clipper, I guess, depending on the type that you choose. Plugins are resizable, even you can change the aspect ratio of them. There's a compressor, there's a convolution reverb, there is a delay, an EQ, a gain plugin, a meter plugin, pan plugin. What's kind of unique about this pan plugin is the option to like invert one side, adjust the level individually of left and right. There isn't anything here for like pan law here, so I don't know if there's actually any way you can adjust that if it matters to you. But I was thinking this might be interesting for OBS. If you've got audio interface inputs just show up as stereo in OBS and you are only using one input and you want to like move it to the center essentially, you could turn down the right side gain and then set your input to mono. So if you had your voice and a guitar on input 2, you didn't want your guitar input to go to OBS, you wanted to go through Reaper first, you could set your second channel to -80 or infinity and then mono that signal to OBS. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't care that much about pan laws, but sometimes when you're automating a pan, it actually does make a big difference in the sound. And then the last plugin here is a tone generator. So test tones, there's tons of stuff you can do with this. Just treat it as an oscillator, add lots of effects, and do some fun stuff. Should we try the, I'm gonna bypass these. Let's take the tone generator and then clip it. In gain. Ceiling, there it is. Yeah, so it's a clipper. I want to see if you could drop in a sound. No. Impulse response drop in from Reaper's Media Explorer does not work, but there is a browse function here. Okay, so let's just, I'll just put this on the live input from the synths. Okay. So that's our original sound. So I'm just going to grab this last half, like this section here, and auto normalize that. I think that right there is the most interesting and unique part of this bundle, being able to auto normalize and just take like this super quiet tail and make an entirely new impulse response from it. Not something that you can do easily with other plugins that I've seen. Of course, the downside of this is that it gets really loud. I wish there was another way of managing the gain out of this, because I want to just use a wet-dry control, not two separate wet and dry sliders. Sound's coming out of here now. I think that's a really cool trick, and the main reason I downloaded this. So other than that, let's hear the clipper on the Volca sample. I'm just going to change the ceiling here. And the ceiling is the point where the clipping starts. And we can change the different types of distortion. And for the visualization, there's zoom controls, horizontal and vertical zoom. Double click to reset for most of the controls. Yeah, that's cool. Very intuitive. And then there's oversampling. compressor. Very interesting visualization you don't often see. This also has an external sidechain, so should be able to do anything you want with this. So a simple set of controls, nice resizable UI, big or small, you know, that's great. And yeah, this could easily become your new track compressor. The delay. So this is a simple synced or unsynced delay. So we'll set this to sync, we'll link, and my drums aren't synced to the project, so. So let's go to milliseconds linked. So it seems like it's capable of the infinite feedback. Maybe there's a slight, like 0.1% filtering on it, but it's pretty much identical, straight digital feedback. Yeah, there's no filtering on it. It doesn't scream though, so I don't know. It is a clean digital reverb or digital delay, but it doesn't do the screaming feedback that some other things do. Yeah, so I'd like to have some filters on this. That would be nice to have. But let's take, well, I guess we could actually do that. Select these two plugins and add to container. Nope, I meant to select the two plugins, move to container. Okay, and now we can filter the lows and power. There it is. And we can set this to different shapes: high pass, low shelf, band pass, notch, peak, high shelf, low pass. So high pass, what we're looking for. And this seems to be a pretty straightforward EQ. It's got some visualizations. So mouse wheel does not adjust the Q, which would be nice to have, but no, you can't do that. You gotta adjust this. You can change the frequency and the gain, but not the Q. So double click to enable a band. Let's put the clipper into the container as well. That's the compressor. What am I doing? Yeah, compressor's fine. Got rid of the crunchy sounds at least. Okay, and then we can take this whole thing and adjust the containers, wet dry control. I love making stuff like this where it's using very basic plugins, but really transforming the sound. Does free clip 2 let any peak through when oversample is on? I'm not sure how to check that. I think it would really depend on the type of sound you're processing. I didn't notice anything going. It seemed like it was crushing everything. Clipper is an improvement over Reapers that doesn't give you any visuals. Same with the compressor. The visualizers are interesting. I think with the compressor visualizer, I was a little confused by it. Relimit has a very good gain reduction meter showing when things are happening, when gain reduction is coming in. And I wasn't really seeing that with the FreeComp. Does it keep getting louder if it gets the same input in time with the delay? Yeah, maybe. I was just playing a really short sound into it. All right, so if I play a tone into the delay, there's the original sound. It gets a bit louder, but not as much as like ReaDelay would, I think. I may as well just test that. Let's go with similar settings here. Feedback at 0 dB. So yeah, it does get louder in a similar way. Sounds a little different to me though. Could just be that I had it unlinked. Well, there's an interesting difference. So FreeDelay will keep that sound in the buffer when you bypass it. But ReaDelay resets when you bypass. I don't know. Interesting. So they seem to be a little lighter weight than maybe the Melda plugins or the kilohearts plugins. They seem a little lighter on the system than those plugins. I'm still having a bit of issue with some of the kilohearts plugins where the UIs do not update correctly. You can see the meter is frozen if my mouse is not moving. If I hover over the sidechain thing, it updates normally, but if I move my mouse off of the plugin, it just freezes. I think it's really hard to use. I do like the UIs of these plugins, the kilohearts plugins, a lot. The Essential Bundle is great. I use them a lot. But so far, I haven't run into any weird issues like that with these plugins. A nice alternative, I think. The fact that they're resizable, there's no registration or anything that you need to do. There is a disable option for checking for updates if you wanted. So, yeah. Simple. They can replace your Reaper plugins. So you can take these to OBS, any other DAW. Nice option. Does anyone here miss the decibel scale in the mixer on Reaper 7? I do. Yeah, well, you can change that. It is annoying that none of the built-in templates, or not templates, layouts include the metering. But I think we talked about this last week. I'm sure I answered this question last week. I've been thinking about getting one of those Clarity devices for a long time. I used to always have a cheap Samsung tablet connected to my my system as a loudness meter. I would use the Hada's loudness graph and then pop that over to the iPad, or not iPad, tablet. But I stopped doing that for some reason. I think it's just too much clutter on the desk. The meter markings show up in the mixer if the track is record armed. So I think mainly you need the values when you're tracking. So that's what it is. Yeah, the Clarity, the TC Electronic stuff is very nice, but expensive. Anyone got a new M3 yet? I don't know anyone that's upgraded. I feel like with the Mac announcements, anyone that's got an M1 or M2 system is probably not looking at the M3. It is better, but like the M1 Studio that I have, M1 Max, I'm not interested in upgrading at all, and they haven't made a new Mac Studio yet. So when they do that, when they upgrade that, then I'll probably switch. But for now, it does everything I need. More ports would be nice, but that's about it. If they put the headphone jack on the front, would be cool. Anyone that has an M2 Mac is probably not going to go to M3, even though it's better. It's just like a 10-15% better in most tasks, maybe worse in some cases. I saw. Maybe it's great for people that have been holding on for a while with a laptop update, but I'm not interested on running my studio off a laptop anymore. But if you have one of the last Intel Macs, it would definitely be a good upgrade, and I think probably a fair price for it as well. There are quite a lot of Mac users who always upgrade to the latest because it's the latest. If it's like every year and you get a good return value, or you can resell it at a good price, then maybe it's worth it. And just consider it to be like a 1-year rental, kind of. If you're a dishonest person, you can buy a new Mac every year, sell it privately, and not claim that as income. So, yeah, it's a unethical life hack. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about today is KVR Audio's Reader's Choice Awards. I don't remember the votings for this. Maybe we talked about it before, but they've announced the winners. Favorite developer for the 5th year in a row, Yuhi was the favorite. They helped with the advancement of the clap audio format. PSP AudioWare was the runner-up this year. Most innovative, Bitwig Studio 5. Runner-up was Transit from Andrew Huang and Baby Audio. Favorite DAW was Cubase, and Reaper was runner-up. Ableton Live was the favorite software for performance. And Gig Performer, which I've actually never heard of, was the runner-up in that category. Cool. So it's like a guitar rack sort of plugin with node-based routing. Interesting. I don't know if this does virtual instruments as well. For guitarists, keyboard players, vocalists, drummers, wind performers. Cool. Yeah, I've never seen that before. For notation, Dorico was the favorite, and second place was Notion. Notion by Personas. I don't think I've ever heard of this. Have I? I know Notion is like a note-taking app. Isotope is favorite audio editor with Isotope RX10, and runner-up was Spectral Layers Pro. Isotope's Ozone 11 is favorite for mastering. Runner-up was Wavelab Pro. Favorite World Ethnic Virtual Instrument UVI World Suite 2, and runner-up is Handy Drums Flamenco Percussion, which is a new product. Cool. That's a nice UI. Very simple. Favorite keyboard virtual instrument is Piano Tech, and runner-up was Native Instruments Noir, which is another sampled piano. And favorite guitar fretted virtual instrument, IK Multimedia's Modo Bass 2. I know Jason just bought that one, and probably some others. I saw a lot of people talking about that on the Discord. And then the second place was Ample Sounds AGM3, which I've never heard of. Acoustic guitar. A Martin D41 acoustic guitar. Favorite orchestral cinematic virtual instrument, BBC Symphony Orchestra, and second place was Hollywood Orchestra Opus Edition Diamond. Favorite synth was Pigments from Arturia, and Kilohearts Faceplant was second place. Favorite drums and percussion instrument, Tune Track Superior Drummer, and Addictive Drums was the runner-up this year. Favorite sample platform is Contact, and Falcon from UVI is the runner-up. Pro Q, the favorite EQ and filter, with the TB Tech Kirchhoff EQ and Sonable Smart EQ. I guess they got the same amount of votes. Smart EQ 3. Heard good things about both of them. Favorite creative sampled virtual instrument is Spectrasonics Omnisphere. And Augmented Voices from Arturia is the runner-up. Favorite vocal effect, Melodyne. And Nectar 4 Advanced is... I think Nectar 4 is something I've never looked at. I had Nectar, I think, 1 and 2. I was always a bit frustrated by it. Favorite dynamics, FabFilter Pro C, and Tokyo Dawn Labs Kotelnikov GE is second place. For favorite guitar effect, Guitar Rig Pro, and runner-up is Amplitude 5 Max. Favorite reverb, Valhalla Vintage Verb, and runner-up is a tie between PSP AudioWare's PSP 245 EMT, looks like that, and Pro Arc 2 from FabFilter. This was just announced. Didn't that just come out like a minute ago? Favorite multi-effect virtual effect processor is Cable Guy's Shaper Box, and Snap Heap got second place. Favorite utility, Plugin Boutique Scaler, which is a MIDI tool. And then Plugin Alliance and Adapter Music's Metric AB is the runner-up. Matt Titel's Vital and Surge XT tied for first place. No, Surge was second place. The way this is written is weird. And favorite free effect, Valhalla Supermassive with second place is Kilohearts Essentials Bundle. So Kilohearts got 3 second place, I think. Valhalla got 2 wins. Isotope got 3 of the top plugins or second place. That's what the KVR readers are interested in. Tend to agree with all of these. I think a lot of good plugins this year. Seems like in the past 2 weeks, every DAW has had an update. Reaper, Cubase, Logic, Ableton, Nuendo. Did I say Live? Live as well. Probably Bitwig, but I never look at what Bitwig is up to. Every DAW has updated, and it's all good stuff. I have nothing bad to say about that. Congratulations. It's a lot of work. I'm happy for you. I'm not doing anything for Black Friday this year. I usually do a sale on the courses, but I'm not going to this year. Still debating whether to take the courses down at the end of the year. I need to get a new... I said this a year ago, but I need to get a new course system set up. But I don't know. I haven't found anything that's like clearly better where it's worth actually starting over on that stuff. Having issues with Latch Preview and FabFilter Q3 and other big plugins, I find adding and editing EQ points extremely buggy. After that, it writes correctly to time selection. Adding and editing... Okay, so I think the parameters probably need to be created already. Like, you can edit the bands that already exist, but it might not be possible to add the points while in that Latch Preview mode. I use Reaper for live playback, organizing the songs into regions, about 180 songs so far. Is there a good way of triggering each song via iPad? Maybe. With Reaper WRB web remote, you can navigate by regions with previous and next buttons. Getting a button for each individual region might be kind of tricky. but you can definitely do it with Reaper WRB. With previous and next, a lot of probably manual editing of navigating to specific regions or creating actions to go to specific regions by number. That's about all I got. Previous and next is probably the easiest, but if you want to choose from a list and have Reaper feedback the data, I think that's somewhat limited. It's not impossible, but I think it's somewhat limited. Okay, you're already using TouchOSC, so you'll probably have to make buttons. Yeah, and then you'll have to name them and stuff. So otherwise, make a fixed set list, because that would probably speed things up. Knowing 180 songs is amazing, actually. Pedro, think about, like, what would it be like if it was, like, what's the ideal situation, and then try to work backwards from there for setting it up. And I can probably help you with, like, figuring out what's possible. From what I know about web remote or OSC and stuff with Reaper, maybe you don't know about Reaper WRB. Okay, so if we've got regions in the project, like this, we can see the markers and we can navigate to them. It's, oh wait, those are markers. Regions are here. And so if I rename this, like song 5, it will display the name on the remote, but I don't think we can do like a drop-down menu sort of thing. I can show you like what tools are here. So regions is just this thing. We can change the width. In Reaper, if we want to go to a different region, there's actions like go to region 1 after current region finishes. There's region playlists. There's a lot of, I think there are several ways to do it, but limiting the number of songs in the project would help. And then figuring out if you want to navigate to the next one or if you want it to go automatically. So some people will set up a set list, like even using region playlist. So I'll just do playlists, new playlist, and then add all regions. You could just play this and it jumps, like when region 1 is done, it jumps to the next one. It will jump to number 2 here. You can do that. Or you can put in action markers to pause or stop or loop this section in between regions. And then you can like tune or banter with the crowd and stuff before going to the next one. And then just have buttons for like pause or loop or go to the next. Ideally would be seeing the region manager via iPad and triggering each region by touch. Assuming like the region order doesn't change or anything like that, you could probably export regions, region marker manager. You can select all these and then export regions as a CSV. And then you take your CSV, build out actions and names, and you build your own web remote. I mean, you can make it look like whatever you want. Anything HTML is basically possible with the web remotes. It's going to just have a bunch of buttons, and each one goes to a specific region. Let's use ChatGPT real quick. Okay, so there's our code, and we will go to new action, new rescript, and this is go to, let's preface this, AI, go to region 5. Paste, save, no errors. It did not, no, what? That's not right at all. No, move the play cursor to region 5. All right. All right. Is it at region 5? No. That's not working at all. Okay, well, you can keep trying and find it, but I know that it's possible to go to specific regions because in the jump to window, just press R5 and then it would move the edit cursor to the start of region 5. By default, you've got markers 1 through 10 on 1 through 0 on the keyboard, but the same thing can be done with regions. I'm sure of it. It just, if I search for region, there's a lot of them. Setting up specific playlists, probably the easiest way. And then you're up to you if you want to pause between songs or go straight into the next song. There's this smooth seek one. Let's say go to region 4. That works. There's 40 of these actions in here already. These aren't something you can customize. There's also the SWS. Go to 10. So if these are okay, let's say region number 4. That goes there and it sets your loop points to it. I don't know if that's good or bad, but you can use that, and that is something that we can customize. So we can go to Reaper folder, we go to snm.ini, and in here, search for region, go to region, go to select region. Oh yeah, so this go to region is set to 0, so we could just set this to 200, and it'll add 200 go to region actions to the action list next time we restart. And make sure you're editing this while Reaper is closed. That's another way. So you could write scripts that go to specific regions. You could edit the S&M file to add actions in the action list, and then you're just going copy command ID and putting that into your web remote to go to the specific thing from the iPad. So lots of options. Okay, so Pedro, you're already using that basically, but getting the names of each region displayed is something that's still going to be manual, but maybe by doing the CSV export, you can get the text, and then that's something that's a little easier. ChatGPT is sometimes useful for getting the formatting done quickly. The actual HTML function is pretty simple. I did a video on it when that stuff was originally added. So in this, yeah, so I can't show you my template there, but I'll give you the link to that that video. I mean, all this stuff is superseded by Reaper WRB and WRB2, and then it got discontinued, or we stopped supporting it or building it, developing it. The answer is in here, and I forget how to do the web remote stuff manually. So off the top of my head, I don't know how, but I made a video about it years ago, 2017. Chris, you said non-skippable ad. I recommend YouTube Premium. Fairly inexpensive, and the creators that you watch get paid without any ads interrupting your viewing experience. And actually, I don't know if ads happen for YouTube members still. If you can be a member of a channel and have no ads. Davi might know. Yeah, Davi's a member and has no ads. Oh, Steven, you're a member and you still get ads. Okay, well, that's something that they should really do. Do I know when the theme adjuster is coming? There was an update last week when 7.05 came out. So, I don't know. He's working on it. It would be cool if, in the meantime, they just changed some of the defaults. There's a couple, like, really basic things that would just make people happier. I don't know. A lot of people were thrown off by the pan knobs hiding. It was like that in version 6 as well. It's already been like 5 years. That's, or maybe not 5 years, but it's been like that for quite a while. And I don't know why people didn't realize that, or maybe it's just because it was something that was adjustable. The whole idea was that if the mixer is visible, that's where your focus is. And so you would set your pans and close the mixer when you're done. I don't change pans all that much while I'm in a mix. I did mix a song earlier this week, but I actually can't show you because I don't have permission to show it. I recorded a bunch of electromagnetic interference with the noise sniffer that we built on stream last year, I think it was. May have even been 2 years ago. I recorded a bunch of this last night into the F3, and it's just such harsh noise. And I don't want to edit it, but it's 18 minutes of stuff I need to edit. I tried to show my son how to do it yesterday, and he didn't want to do it either. That's always the problem of field recording. You spend hours recording, and then you need to spend twice as long, 3 times as long, 5 times as long listening and editing it, and then metadata and all that stuff. How to connect iPad via OSC to Reaper. Yeah, so via OSC, it's going to be in here. Click on Add, Control Surface Mode, go to OSC. All the rest is basically going to be going to be set up through the other app that you're using, Touch OSC or whatever it is. As far as everything in Reaper, it should just be this stuff. You'd have a template here, different modes. It's usually, I think it's this one you usually use, maybe this one. Allow binding messages if you want the action list or effects parameters to be controlled. Control surfaces page. Does ReaInsert have that MIDI option specifically for hardware synths? Not sure if it can control anything else. Yeah, so I've used the MIDI output on ReaInsert for my patch changes on my hardware effects. But you can definitely do hardware MIDI. I was actually going to make a video about this. I was prepped to make the video, and I could not get my son to leave the rim peacefully on Saturday or Sunday. So I just gave up, and then I forgot to do it the rest of the week. The thing with hardware MIDI output, if you're using this for hardware stuff, you can't shift click on this to bypass it. There's no mute for hardware MIDI sends or anything. So the better way to work is to use the ReaInsert plugin. I don't have a preset for it yet, but set it to no audio. Set MIDI to your external output. Don't bring anything back in. And then you can send MIDI out, and you can just shift click to bypass or mute the send when you're playing back after it's recorded. This is so much easier. I've asked for a mute button or a bypass because like a regular send has all these controls. There's mute, there's volume. For hardware MIDI, there's nothing. It would just be nice to have that option because you have to go to no output and then return it. There's always some other overdub or something you need to do. I had that set up on the weekend to go to all my devices, my Korg, my drums, my Poly D, and I had separate tracks to send and receive. I didn't save that project. Yeah, I plan on doing another video about MIDI sends. Where's my list? You can't mute hardware MIDI send, so use reinsert instead. And also creating a send between effects. That was a thing that was in one of the streams, but I didn't get a clean take of figuring that out. So I wanted to show how you could use that. I use reinsert with the loopback, and then send loopback, and then on another track, pick up the loopback. And again, I'm doing a bad take of this, so I should just stop. Do I know what happened to Reaper TV? I think he just went back to a regular job. He's around, I'm sure of it. I was Facebook friends with him, but I actually block the Facebook newsfeed, so I don't actually keep up with anyone. I'm pretty sure Paul is still around, probably just more private. What was the book you got the scanned images from? Okay, yeah, I can show you that. So I got a stack of 9 of these Popular Mechanics home handyman guides, and they're just like a collection of various home improvement projects and stuff. Lots of DIY stuff from the 60s. And I scanned a bunch of them last night. I scanned what I thought was interesting images from 3 of the books last night. And so like tools, little illustrations. I think these might be no copyright at this point. I don't know, just some of them are interesting, I think. Might be useful for other things. There's tons of stuff like this, the exploded mechanical diagrams, which I really appreciate how much work that is to get the perspective right, to get all the sizes right, to do this sort of minimal shading. It's so much work. And so these will just be like image elements that maybe one day will help with a thumbnail. Maybe I'll sell these. Maybe I'll just put them up for free. I've done this sort of scanning stuff a long time ago. Like, was it on DeviantArt? I had Photoshop brushes that I gave away. There are no black people in any of those books. It started to bother me. I scanned all 3. I scanned 3 of those books, and I've got another like 7 or so to go, and it's just odd. Everyone's white. So, I don't know. It is what it is. The world was different back then. Before they thought the Earth was round, 1961, yeah. I don't know. IDDQD, yeah, he moved, he got a new job, hard drive. I don't know. You lose a little bit of yourself when you go live, when you put out content online, especially if it doesn't go the way you planned. So I understand the burnout thing. Have I seen Brendan Patrick Baker's YouTube videos? I don't recognize the name. Oh, well, that's a lie. I have seen. I discovered his videos a week ago. Yeah, he's got some like 4-hour long videos about Reaper. Yeah, and I've seen him in the forum, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I was watching the retooled videos a little bit. I'm not sharing my screen. Yeah, this channel here. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, he's a podcast editor, and he's developing some sort of package of Reaper tools. I think on the forum it's BP Baker. All right. I'm going to go. I'm going to cook some lunch. I might bake some, what do you call it? Pecan bars. I think I really need to do that. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next week. We'll be down to the final 5 streams. This is number 45 of this year. So 5 more, and then I'll take a break for the rest of the year. And I don't know what we'll do in the new year. I don't think we're going to do weekly streams. That's what it's feeling like right now. But I do enjoy our time together. And I appreciate that you have stopped by. See you all later. Bye.